Exotical Saucies. It's your girl, Exotical Sauce, coming back at you with another video. And tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about being an introvert. MLS people and being an introvert. Is that really a thing, or were we bullied into being introverts? Because I, for one, can personally remember when I was growing up, I was always isolated from everybody. Actually, before I go any further, go check out Pretty In Between's video about social isolation and growing up as an MLS person in the hood. Pretty In Between, she's such a sweetheart. I really love her videos. She's just such a sweetie pie. She reminds me of one of my kids. So just please like, subscribe, and comment, and watch her video. She's a phenomenal creator. Back to me talking about how I grew up. I grew up isolated from everybody a little more than the average kid. My parents were non-conformist people, and they did things a very untraditional, conventional way, including raising us. So, but I remember being very isolated and alone, and I felt very lonely. And even in my adult life, I still feel those same feelings of isolation. I feel that I'm in a position when I'm around my family that I don't fit in. And I noticed, just like in Pretty In Between's video, where she talked about your color of your skin or how light your skin is, there's always the elephant in the room that nobody really wants to talk about. And if they do, they always compare your skin tone to their own, or see who's lighter than who, or make a big deal about regular things like if you can dance or not, or how your body is built, or how you look, how African you look as compared to them. And I'm just wondering, feelings of social isolation is what made me believe that I am an introvert, because I am an introvert, but I'm wondering if I'm like that naturally, or is it social isolation? So I'm going to give you a little bit of example through a story time. A long time ago, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, my really close family member was having a birthday party. She invited several of her friends who were all dark-skinned women as well. She had a car that sat low to the ground, and this was in the dead of winter. It had just stormed, and she had a reservation made downtown at a hotel room to have her party at. Well, her car was sitting low to the ground, and she could not back out of the driveway because she kept getting stuck in the snow. So I had a larger SUV. I just dropped my son off at basketball practice, and I went right on over to grab her. I took her to the bakery to grab her cupcakes. She put all her decorations and everything, in my car, and we went downtown to the room. I stayed till 1 o'clock in the morning to help her set up the decorations, help her put the cupcakes out and everything before her guests started to arrive. And then I left. This party was downtown at a hotel room casino. So it was a very nice room, and I managed to get the decorations set up. She changed into her outfit, put her makeup on, and looked absolutely beautiful. We had a wonderful time, and they all slept at the hotel. I went back home, of course, and the next day she called me to take her home. Her friend spent the night also. One thing I noticed about her friends is that they always speak about being highly melanated. At least around me they do that. I don't know if they do that around each other or not. And of course, being highly melanated means being dark-skinned. And I notice every time I'm around her friends, they do that. So yeah. So anyway, the next day, my cousin called me over to the hotel because she needed to, get all her stuff out of the hotel room and take her back home. But her friend spent the night, and she didn't have her car with her either. So they all got the idea to go to like an IHOP pancake house that was somewhere near the hotel, and they invited me to come along. My family member and her friend kind of sat there, and they were just talking to each other. It was like I was not even there. It was almost as if I was just there just to provide them with a ride. There was very little interaction with me. They just mainly talked to each other. So the waitress was a mixed race or a very light-skinned young lady, and she came and she was very professional. She was very nice. She took our order. And then when she walked away, my family member turned and looked directly at me in my face and said, I wonder what it feels like to be light-skinned. And she said it just like that. And then her friend said, yeah, I wonder too. I have to admit, I was absolutely floored. Me and my family member have always been close. She grew up talking to me. We were always very close. I was very hurt and couldn't believe that she would treat me that way. And her friend co-signed. To that point, her and I were very close. And I really liked her friend up until they did that. I felt socially isolated because of my skin tone. And I felt that my skin tone was a problem. But we've been close at least all of her life. She knows that I have never gotten any privileges being light-skinned. I've always gotten paid the same as anyone that was dark-skinned on my job. I never had anything handed to me. I worked for everything that I've ever gotten. She grew up watching me. She knew that. She watched me go through the struggles and the hard work to get myself where I am, and I'm not in any spectacular position, but I'm in a better position than what I used to be, but I did it through working hard, not because I'm light-skinned and had things handed to me. And the waitress that was waiting on them, they have better jobs than me and the waitress, at least at that time, and they were making more money than us both. To sit there and just call me out and the waitress out as if we have some kind of privilege or we're getting something that they're not, that was just very offensive. When I asked her about it, I was upset. She just kind of blew it off like, well, I just wanted to know, that's why I asked. And just kind of blew it off like it was nothing. Things were strained between us for a little while, but I guess things are better between us now. But I very much dislike her friend, and I still feel that way. So I felt the isolation based on my skin tone by someone who was very close to me. And of course, that's just one incident. There's many others with other people all through my life where I felt isolation. So I'm wondering if I'm just a natural introvert or if I've been kind of like conditioned to be that way because I don't want to be bothered with people. And there's some underlying trauma that I'm not aware of from being socially isolated. And of course, I may not know the answer to that question unless I seek the advice of a professional therapist to help me cope with that kind of stuff, but it's just good food for thought. I don't know if any of you ever experienced that before. But one thing I did notice from having that happen to me is that sometimes it's done unintentionally, but sometimes it is done intentionally to weaponize social interaction against exoticals or MLS people out of spite. Because a lot of dark-skinned people have this underlying like resentment towards light-skinned people. They have this unconscious jealousy or something that they said themselves that they feel towards MLS people, men and women. And it comes out in little small microaggressions just like that. Social interaction or withdrawing any social interaction just to be assholes or to intentionally hurt you because your presence hurt them. But whatever their reason for doing it, they don't realize that when you do that to somebody, they look within and they figure out their personal strengths and who they are as a person, and it only makes them stronger. And that's what I know I've done. It made me stronger, and I have become more resilient. I have learned how to take my strengths or my weaknesses and turn them into strengths, and become a better person because I know more about who I am now. That's what people don't realize about the power of being an introvert. You learn how to look within and self-analyze and self-reflect. You discover talents and abilities that you never knew you had. You discover strengths that you never knew you had, and that builds confidence. And then you learn how to try things that you start to try things you never thought you would try. And the more you do it, the better at it you get. So, I'm proud of myself for starting a YouTube channel and getting my voice out there. I never thought that people would respond to my channel this way. I never thought I had anything interesting to say. But I'm here and I am doing it, and I'm proud of myself for that, and I appreciate every last one of my followers. I'm getting better at it, and I hope you guys will continue to enjoy my videos. But what do you guys think? Do you think that there may be something to being an introvert and trauma, or no? Just let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.